What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. Today we got two Dodge products, a Charger EV and a Challenger Scat Pack. So this car right here is a successor to this one, and let's see the similarities and differences, because obviously this is an EV and this is a naturally aspirated V8. All right, let's start off with the new one, the new EV one. Let's take a look around this, and then we'll go over to the Challenger, and then we'll be driving both of them and see which one drives better, the all-wheel drive EV or the rear-wheel drive naturally aspirated V8. All right, so taking a look at the front end of this car, we get this full LED lights with the LED bar going all the way across. We get this really cool swooping little air duct thing to like help with the airflow on the front end. We got the front 360 camera, we got front parking sensors, and this color is not an actual factory color. It's been wrapped by the Renfrew Dodge. Some fake vents down here, and moving on to the side, we got 20-inch wheels that are wrapped in 305s in the front and 325s in the back. These tires are wider than the Scat Pack wide body tires, so pretty big tire on this. And moving on to the side, we got the Scat Pack logo with the Stage 2, so you know this is the top of the line Charger EV. You could get the Stage 1, which is slightly slower, looks a bit different, doesn't get all the cool goodies as this car does. But yeah, this one is the Stage 2 one. Over here, we got the carbon mirror caps. This one's option with a carbon package as well. And overall, along the side, this is a very long car. This car makes the Challenger look small. We get some prominent body lines and more of a fastback design over the Challenger. And on the wheels again here, we get SRT brakes, Brembo brakes actually. And moving on over to the back, this is a lot similar to the Challenger over there. We still keep the old design of the light bar. Dodge has kept this for almost every single Dodge Charger generation. And moving down here, this thing is a Daytona Scat Pack. So we get the Daytona lettering right there. And then we get the exhaust, which is a speaker, and it says Fratsonic. So this is what the Fratsonic speakers sound like on this car. Stepping onto the inside of the Charger EV, we get electronic door handles, and stepping inside, this is actually a pretty tall car. So getting into this car is almost like getting into an SUV. So we get these leather and Alcantara seats with red stitching all the way across. And looking into this cabin, not gonna lie, I really like this. Looking at the steering wheel, it's fully leather wrapped with more of the red stitching all across. It's also got a flat top, almost like a C8 Corvette, but we get the Dodge logo right there. The cruise control controls on this side, full adaptive cruise control on this car. And on this side, you get these controls to actually control the screen digital gauge cluster up there and to pick up your phone calls. So you can control your drive modes right here, or you can choose them on your screen. These actually change up the way the car sounds. So currently we are in auto, and if we hit track right now, it gets quite a bit louder. And if you rev it, it is very loud. This car is louder than the actual V8. But anyways, let's move back to the screen. Let's turn this back into auto so it's not so loud. So we get this power shop button right here, which gives this car 40 more horsepower for 10 extra seconds. So it's actually 710 horsepower when you have that button right there. And on the normal, it's just 670. Moving over here, I really like this design of the ambient lighting going all the way across. There's a Daytona badge right there. And the screen placement is really good. Some manufacturers just extend the digital gauge cluster screen all the way across like BMW, but the screens are still in reach, but this is just a lot easier. It's a lot closer to you, and pressing stuff is a lot easier as well, like the heated seats and the vented seats. So it's got cooled and heated steering wheel as well. And obviously we get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Down here we get this control panel for the climate, and it's not a full actual button. It's not touchscreen either. Every time you press something, it does kind of make a little bit of a sound every time you click it. Anyways, moving down, we obviously got the four-way flashes right there. We got the wireless charger. Yo, that thing over there is really cool. Back to down here, we get the gear selector. That is kind of cool. I really like this design. If you put this car in reverse, we get the full 360 camera. Very good resolution compared to that car. We'll look at that car in a second here. But anyways, drive is just like that. It's very simple. We got the start stop button right there, and then we got the electronic parking brake right here. That is pretty much it for this interior, and opening it up is just like that with that button right there. Rear seat space is actually pretty good on this car because this car is coming out as a 4-door as well. And moving on to the trunk space, we actually just press that button right there and the trunk opens up. It's a full hatchback design, which makes it a lot easier putting stuff in, and there is a ton of room in here. Closing the trunk, the button is right there and the trunk closes. And if you press this button right here, it pops the front. Because this is an EV, there is no engine in here. So if you open this right here, we get a little bit more storage and all the electrical components back there. So this thing does have 2 motors, so makes it all-wheel drive, and it gives it a range of 388 kilometers and about 670 horsepower and 710 with the power shop button. So we're pretty much done with the EV. So let's take a little quick look at this car. I'm not gonna do a full in-depth like I went with that car, but just get over the basics. So under the hood of the gas Scat Pack is a 6.4 liter HEMI V8 that makes 485 horsepower, which is significantly less than the Charger EV, but still plenty of fun. So on this Scat Pack specifically, there is a massive top mount intake, and because of that, there is a big hole in the hood right there. All right, let's close this massive hood and step over here. We got the Scat Pack logo right here, and stepping inside of the 2022 Dodge Challenger. All right, so stepping inside the Dodge Challenger, this car is a lot lower than the EV, and this car feels a lot more like a muscle car. Let's start up this actual Scat Pack Challenger, and let's get some real engine noises. Let's get a few revs here, not gonna lie. This car may look a tad bit outdated, but honestly, I don't mind it at all. We get a good mix of digital and analog. And moving over here, we get a good size screen with some nice buttons down here and a pretty nice looking shifter. I really like this design all the time, but the backup camera on this thing is so grainy, I can almost barely see back there. So we get Alcantara and leather seats on this guy as well with the Scat Pack logo right there. And I personally like the bolstering of this car more than that car. And on this thing, we get actual functioning paddle shifters, and they're not just for regenerative braking like the EV. Drive modes as well in this thing, and there is no sound different in any mode you do, and we do have a launch button as well. One thing that I really want to mention, that thing can make any kind of noise, but it won't be the same as this car. So if I rev it, listen to this. It shakes the entire car. Look at the intake. It's shaking, man. That will not be replicated by speakers ever. All right, now we're gonna get a quick POV drive experience of the EV, then we'll switch over to the gas V8. Let's get started real quick. All right, let's put this thing in drive and let's start going. The overall positioning of the seat is really good on this car. You sit a lot taller. It almost feels like an SUV. We're gonna give it some gas, climbing this ramp right here. Oh my God. Oh my God. This thing is incredibly fast. This thing hooks and goes instantly, man. Give it a... Holy, that's a full 670 horsepower right there. Not even the full power boost, power shot thing right there. But oh my God, this thing really wants to go. The regenerative braking does slow you down pretty quick. So like if I let off the accelerator, it slows down so incredibly fast. But once you have the accelerator down and you just gun it, it is the most insanely quick vehicle ever. Change the drive modes real here quick. We're gonna go into drag. We're actually gonna go into a more normal drive mode. And yeah, turns like that, pretty quiet as well. We're in wet right now. Let's go into auto. But overall, driving this thing in auto is a lot more comfortable than track. The regenerative braking isn't as aggressive as before. And the lane keep assist is doing a good job keeping me in its lane. And if we go back into track mode again, it is unreasonably quick. Like no car that is like this should be this fast. Honestly, it doesn't feel like you're driving a car. It feels more like you're driving an SUV, a very large SUV as well. There's less body roll for sure, but it's kind of boring. Like it's fast in a straight line. It's not as exhilarating. Like 670 horsepower it feels like a lot. But let's just switch over to the Scat Pack Challenger now and see how that thing drives. Charger EV was cool, but let's hop into the Challenger with the big old V8 and let's see how this thing sounds. Let's give it a few revs here. I gotta get the key fob real quick. So we're gonna do the same kind of loop with this thing. And obviously we're not gonna be taking these things onto a track or a drag strip because that car is faster and we don't have access to anything like that. So this is just like an on-street little quick drive here. So once we make a quick U-turn here, instantly this car feels a lot more nimble. Even though this car is considered to be a boat, it's still a lot lighter than the EV. So the car ahead of us also has the dampening suspension, which makes the ride a lot more smoother than this fella right here. So if you want to get a muscle car, it should be rear wheel drive, it should be very loud and rowdy, and it should be like that. Simple. It's that simple. Now let's change the drive mode and put this thing in track as well. So in track mode, both of these cars, it kind of disables stability control off a little bit, so there is a little bit of slippage. It's not completely off all the way, but yeah, 485 horsepower is plenty. It is a lot of horsepower. All right, we're getting onto the same road over here as well. I'm gonna give it some gas as well. Holy, oh my God, I was saying that car was scary, but with rear wheel drive, I got snow tires on this car right now, so I could see this car getting a little bit squirrely like that. This is exactly what Dodge should have kept. Like the inline six, we'll see how that thing looks, but like just listen. The shifts as well. There's no shifts in that. This thing actually has proper shifts. So driving this thing is actually interesting. It's actually fun. We'll be making the same turn here over here as well. Yeah, around corners, this feels a tad bit more aggressive, but I won't be able to keep up with that car at all. But this car, this car is a lot of fun as well. You don't need 670 horsepower. You don't need 710 horsepower. All you need is a real V8, rear wheel drive, real sounds. That's all you need. That is all you need. This car is 100% more fun than that car. Daily livability, let's talk about that now. The EV might be a tad bit more convenient to daily drive just because all-wheel drive, especially in Calgary winters, it's a little bit easy to daily drive something that has all-wheel drive. Rear-wheel drive, you will not see any of these cars when it snows. But honestly, when you're looking for a muscle car, that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for rear-wheel drive. I keep mentioning this. You're looking for rear-wheel drive, something that can do donuts. That thing can do donuts as well because you can deactivate the front motor and just go full EV. But there is nothing like one of these. All right, after experiencing both of these cars, I'm gonna have to say that this car is a lot more fun than the EV version. The EV is a lot quicker. It'll smoke this thing in a race. It'll probably smoke a Challenger in a race just because of the all-wheel drive. I mean the Challenger Hellcat in a race just because of the all-wheel drive system. But a muscle car should be V8 and rear-wheel drive. That's it. It does not matter if it's the fastest, if it's the quickest off the line. The experience you get from a rear-wheel drive American muscle V8 is like no other. That thing is cool. I'm not gonna say that thing is not a fun car to drive. It is still very, very fun. It felt faster than the Ioniq 5N that I reviewed, but there's just no emotion in that car. It's just, it gets you going very fast, but it feels like you still have more control over the car. There's no aggressive shifts. And this car, on the other hand, once you send it, the rear end wants to go out, the shifts are just like punching you while you're shifting. And yeah, it's just a lot more fun to drive an actual gas vehicle. Just want to say a special thank you to Renfrew Dodge. Both of these cars are available to be purchased from their dealership. Make sure to hit them up. Make sure to check out both of these cars because they're quite interesting.